America needs an Attorney General who is resolute and determined to bend the arc. Senator Sessions' record does not speak to that desire, intention, or will.
We've come a distance. We've made progress, but we're not there yet. There are forces that want to take us back to another place. We don't want to go back. We want to go forward.
In his decades-long career in public life, Senator Sessions has proven himself unfit to serve in the role as Attorney General.
Folks, day two of the confirmation hearing of Alabama Senator Jeff Sessions took place on yesterday. Donald Trump has named him his Attorney General. Powerful testimony yesterday from Congressman John Lewis, from Senator Cory Booker, from Congressman Cedric Richmond, chair of the Congressional Black Caucus. They made it perfectly clear that the record of Senator Jeff Sessions is simply unacceptable, especially when it comes to the issue of voting rights. Now, defenders of Senator Jeff Sessions say that he's not a racist. What ended up happening was several different people came up, testified, talked about his personal relationships with them as well. Let's go to our panel and talk about this. Here's what jumps out at me, Christian, and I'll start with you. To me, first of all, I'm not having this debate, racist, non-racist. I said that on the show the last couple of days. What this goes to is the actual record of Senator Sessions, his actual votes. I don't care if you showed up at the hospital when one of your black staffers had a baby. I don't care if you went to somebody's wedding. I don't care if you were a nice guy who they got along. The question is, did he take votes that block opportunities for Americans, for African Americans? And on the issue of voting, he said in his own testimony that he voted for the reauthorization of the Voting Rights Act, but he called the Voting Rights Act intrusive and has not supported fixing what the Supreme Court actually did in their decision in 2013 in the Shelby decision.
Everything that I heard during this two-day hearing confirms what we have long known about Mr. Sessions, that this is somebody who harbors great hostility and opposition to civil rights in every area, not just voting rights. The Voting Rights Act, our most important federal civil rights law, is something he deems intrusive, an intrusive piece of legislation. He did nothing over the past 2 days to suggest that that is not the view that he holds. I didn't hear any acknowledgement of the reality of voting discrimination and voter suppression that we wrestle with in this country today. There's a photo ID law in his state. He's got 3 high courts in the state of Alabama that are all white today because of voting discrimination that is rooted in his state of Alabama. I didn't hear any acknowledgement of that. We need an attorney general who is prepared to carry forth the legacy of Holder and Lynch and do the work that is necessary to move our nation forward. And it's not just voting rights, it's criminal justice issues and the legacy of mass incarceration. Right now, we are bracing for the announcement of potential consent decrees with the Baltimore Police Department and hopefully the Chicago Police Department. That is the kind of work that Mr. Sessions needs to be prepared to carry forward. And everything that I heard during this nomination hearing makes clear that he is somebody who is going to turn the clock back and who will not be a trusted enforcer of our nation's federal civil rights laws.
And the point,
Ralph?
Go ahead, Ralph.
Jeff Sessions, I believe, and by his record, is a law and order person. So he is definitely going to enforce the laws of the United States. What he is not going to do is he is not going to continue the trend of turning the Justice Department into another legislative body. His job as the Attorney General is to enforce the laws, not make them. And that is exactly what he is going to do.
And Roland, a law, one of the premier laws in our country, is equal protection under the laws. And the reality is that inaction is action. And if he gets in there and guts the Civil Rights Department, reduces investigative authority, doesn't pursue cases, we need someone like Congressman John Lewis said, who's a hero and a legend and who should not have been pushed to the last panel yesterday either. We need someone who's going to be aggressive in defending rights. That's your job as the U.S. Attorney General. And he has been clear through his record and his statements that he sees his job just to mind the store, at the best case scenario, mind the store, not pursue things, and inaction is action. And so that's why we have to be very leery of Jeff Sessions.
I didn't
Amber, as an activist, are you concerned and fearful that Senator Jeff Sessions, if he is confirmed to be the Attorney General, that he will not meet with Black Lives Matter activists. He will not be aggressive when it comes to holding police departments accountable. He also, in the past, has been critical of these consent decrees, which is really the strongest power DOJ has, holding police departments accountable for their actions.
I'm terrified. I'm terrified for people on the ground, folks who, because they love their communities, people in Ferguson who are literally going to the streets to stand up for what they believe is right, and what it means to have a person like Jeff Sessions in a position that will criminalize us, that will not take up the causes that are important to our communities. This is someone who, if Coretta Scott King has to take her pen to paper and say this person will undo the legacy of my husband, we should all be worried. And shout out to the activists, folks like Mike Sampson, who interrupted Jeff Sessions speaking to call him a racist, to say that he has ties to the KKK. And we need to keep talking about this because it matters. It matters who's honoring you. It matters that you are going to take one of the most important positions in this cabinet as someone who does not care about LGBTQ folks, Black folks, or women. This matters.
Kickstart your day at 7 and get the news you need from the perspective you want. NewsOne Now with Roland Martin, every weekday morning at 7 on TV1.